Um, let's go ahead and have you. Let me hear you talk.
The let me see. The thing's not even up yet for me.
You mean you're not seeing it on the X side yet?
No, yeah, we're good. I just
Okay.
checked. It's good. Run
Okay.
it.
Well, what's going on, Beast? What's up, Richard Labs? Thanks for everybody being here today. With us on Wednesday, the third here, right before we kind of shut down for the holidays on the fourth, and I think we then just have a half day as well after that. Um, I'm IO Focus here with Bridge Labs. I have Danksy, one of the founders, with me. Um, we are a group of traders and investors that, if you ever want to learn more, we suggest you go to the Bridge Labs website and homepage where you can apply to kind of become a member and kind of find out more about what we offer and everything that's going on with us in our Web3 Venture Studio. So with that being said, we'll just keep moving on here, and let's go ahead and kind of dive into the markets. I had a few kind of newer kind of research reports and stuff I was looking at that I thought maybe I'd like to share with some of y'all here today. And yeah, so let me clean some of this up. All right, so first off, we can kind of talk about the big dog in the room. Looking at Bitcoin here on our screen, and let me go ahead and just get rid of this on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, here we are, Bitcoin hanging on to 60,000, kind of back down at some old daily levels. In the past, this was kind of a level we lost earlier on Monday, really earlier this week, and kind of definitely fought to reclaim. I myself feel comfortable with Bitcoin here, kind of hovering above 60,000, or really just anywhere. I don't want to see about 57K loss would be a consideration for me to maybe adjust my bias, I guess is what I'd say on some things. But right now we're kind of battling this support here just above 60,000, about 60,175 is kind of where I have it marked. Here, these two daily levels of about 60,427 and 60,293 were kind of two previous daily levels that have acted kind of as support and or resistance when we flipped them in the past. So that's kind of something I'm heavily watching. I actually going through my morning routine and everything this morning. This was really kind of an area of interest right here for me. I would, looking at current conditions and everything today is what I'm trying to say. If we were to come up into wick into this area of about 60, just north of 61,500, so up into the 61,566 to anywhere to about 800 level, I'd be actually looking possibly for an opportunity to actually take a short. I haven't changed my stance on the market or anything like that. I do think that we still remain in a bullish trend and will remain like that to come. I just, with some of the holiday being this week in the U.S. and then half day again for banks and everything, I think that there'll be a little bit of a naturally of a sell-off. People going home early. I think there'll be probably a little bit obviously lower volume and things like that. So I'd be careful of if you're running any type of more of a day trade, but where you're using tight margins or a tight stop for your risk management. Lower volume usually leads to easier manipulation in the market, right? Which is you could see by volatility typically. So I'd almost treat it like a weekend. I do think, though, because I do remain, again, like I said, in a bullish, of an overall bullish opinion, I would even be, I would consider, I don't think that it'll happen, but if we were to come down and test perhaps 58,000 area again especially before Monday, I think market's back open on Friday, but still, if I would treat these as any opportunities to actually add it towards a long position. So for me, that would be really on something like Bitcoin here. that'd be really anything down to the lower part of 57,000. Below this area here is where might I I might start to be a little bit more concerned, I guess you could say, with the timeline for bullish continuation. I don't expect, and I'm not here to try to cause panic or anything like that today, but I just want to put that out there as well. So, and that's kind of my thoughts around that for the time being. Once again, I like to kind of, for perspective, kind of move on, look at total one versus total two versus others or total three. Kind of helps put things into more of a perspective, I think, sometimes. Just looking here today, total one is down just about 3.5%, and where we see it just slightly higher is down here in total two at about 3.75%, and we have this basket I have marked as others is down about 5%. So kind of once again, just pointing out with that is the weakness and strength when you're trading crypto, or even if you're a long-term holder or investor. On the way up, you will definitely get some higher returns in those higher risk baskets. But again, you also face more risk when it comes to downside. And some of that just comes with the volatility of crypto. But yeah, so I thought I'd mention that. Something was kind of interesting too, not to just keep going on, and feel free to interrupt at any point. This is a chart of ETH versus BTC. So this is actually Ethereum paired against BTC. And you can see that we were talking about this trend, this general trend we were observing with ETH strength against Bitcoin. You can see we actually lost that trend since last week when we were talking. And maybe I should make this a little bit more visual here on the chart for us.
The back to Bitcoin dominance. What does that mean? What does that mean for us, for
Well,
normal people?
So because we lost this trend, this was ETH basically outperforming Bitcoin, right? So on that note, yeah, we can in a second. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance and things like that. But yeah, it basically means that more than likely, looking at that, you probably infer that the Bitcoin dominance has gone back up. But let's take a look at that here in a second. While I still have TradingView here real quickly, for me, something I'm watching today definitely is this Aave. It had been showing some real strength and holding trend here as well. This is something else we talked about last week. For me, it's not quite down into a buy zone I'm looking at, but this is a few things among many, but a few things where I'm actually interested in. I actually have some limit orders set. So I'm looking to grab Aave down here below 86.75 to about 85.45 as an entry zone to possibly, this would be a longer play, but I would be looking to make here. But this is more like a swing into the weekend and possibly into next week if I was to get this. My invalidation too for something like this, or stop loss that this currently is at about 75.63. One note I'll say is, if y'all are listening, I talk about a lot. I don't really trade on the weekends, and I don't think it's a great idea, especially for newer people in the market trading. For some of the same reasons I was mentioning earlier, just lack of participants and market makers in volume. But there's nothing with lower leverage and being in a good setup in a position, right? It doesn't mean that if you're in a winning position that you should just close it necessarily over the weekend. Sometimes, if you feel comfortable enough, or if you've been able to adjust your risk, like for example, saying something like this, where we're looking at an entry point, If we were to happen to get this entry and then this started going the direction we wanted it to go, which would be up and to the right, then how I would want to, for example, how I would manage my risk and make sure that I didn't also give back any gains like that over the weekend, right? This is where we would, like we talk about sometimes in trading, in Richie Labs, this is where I'd look to adjust my stop loss, right? I would probably, if this position, for example, was already up, I don't know, 10%, 11%, I would look to probably at least move my stop loss up to my entry or above entry to make it more of what we like to call a risk-free trade. Obviously, there's a higher chance of getting stopped out, but it's also, I think, anytime we can get ourselves as traders or investors, and it's not super common, but we can get ourselves basically into a risk-free trade. I think that outweighs any of the potential gains you could have made by, if we can get ourselves in a risk-free trade by adjusting our stop loss above entry. I think that outweighs any potential upside that we might be missing, for example, by giving ourselves such a tight margin. At least in my experience, for sure.
Yeah, you can't starve taking profit. You won't go broke taking profit.
100%. You're right. Right. And I think, honestly, just my opinion, for especially newer people trading or just working on their confidence, right, and everything else, I really more strongly of the opinion. Oh no, I messed my social. I'm strongly of the opinion. I'm sorry. I'm strongly of the opinion that that if you can just get in the habit of making the small gains like consistent stack, even if they're small wins, 5%, 10%, or if you put a dollar amount on that. Obviously, that's going to be more. It's hard for me to just put a dollar on that, for example, but just simple math, right? Say if we were even locking in small wins of something as small as $20, right? But we got in a habit where we could do that very easily, say 5-6 times a day, right? Even something as nominal as that. It still may not be exciting to some people out there, but I'm just trying to put it in perspective, right? Something like that, the power of that, right? Even in a day, right? Then you're north of, $100, $120 off of a few small wins, and then it's just taking something like that and then the ability to scale it out, right? So over a month or over a quarter periods of time, and as you do that, right, too. You're in more and more less risk adverse positions, right? You should be like building up your trading capital, right, or your investing capital along the way. Yeah. I don't know if there's any more coins I want to look at right now, but if not, maybe we could jump over and look a little bit about what else is going on in the market here on the web. So,
Yeah,
okay.
nothing yet on the Twitter side, but yeah, if you can go up on what you're seeing. Actually, can you talk about what you do for you said earlier before about the morning research that you do or just morning catch up? What's that routine like? Just so, because I have my routine. Love to see what you do to get caught up and get yourself situated for the day.
Okay, sure. I think, and I mean, some of this is obviously just opinion or whatever, but I'm not sure. I think that especially as if you're a really active trader, right, and not as much an investor, but I'm sure even as just solely as an investor, I have a routine where I typically I'm up early in the morning. I like to get an idea of kind of where the markets are at, even pre-market before they open. Now, depending where you're at, right, that might be kind of difficult. but there's some discipline in that. I typically, even though I spend the majority of my time probably trading assets that would fall into crypto versus more traditional finance, I still very strongly am looking at what's going on in overall traditional finance, because whether you agree of how much one thing or not is correlated, I think there's definitely value, obviously, in seeing what's going on in other money markets. So typically, I'm up like before the market opens. My first go-to, right, is I'm looking at something like that could be referred to like a FX calendar or a forex calendar, right, where I'm just looking at major events for the day, whether that's going to be like a FOMC day where there could be Fed speaking, or it could be something like we just had, like where we're looking at unemployment, right, and so we're looking at payrolls and non-farm payrolls and all that other stuff. So first, really just up early, kind of get an idea of the market. Especially say things like Bitcoin, I find usually sometimes we'll put in a high during the Asia hours, which is typically for me here in the US when I'm sleeping. So that I'm always kind of looking back at some sessions, especially if it's crypto, right, or it's something that's traded 24/7. But I'm first looking at FX calendar, right, for the day. I pretty much do that probably so much, right, that I have an idea of kind of what already is coming up that week. Yeah, so I'm looking at a FX calendar just for major events. I typically look at earnings. I don't find that necessarily affects everything I do as much, but definitely if it's we've had some big events, right, and some big especially companies recently do really well. And some of that's based on earnings, some of that's not. But when we have stocks like Nvidia or even Tesla or even Amazon, right, in the past couple of weeks, some things that they've done, it's something to pay attention to, right? I like to always say kind of like follow the money, or money flow, even in crypto, right? When it comes from majors to alts or smaller caps. I generally have in the same kind of mindset a little bit when looking at money markets overall, in the sense of just like if have a portfolio as investors, right, we could have some really we could hold some assets that have done really, really well, right, but we still might need to rebalance that, take some time and rebalance that portfolio, just and remove some of those assets that have done so well, and like that's done right, like not because we've lost or we've changed our thought or thesis on them, right, but it's more about adjusting for like the overall risk, right, and so I say that with back to like follow the money, right, the money flow. I think I think in the Discord today that I saw some speculation, or maybe it was on Twitter, but talking about that Nancy Pelosi, she just cashed out her Tesla shares, right? And nothing big on that. But yeah, apparently she did, or that's at least what someone said. I think that, and for those of y'all just at home listening, right? Not necessarily specifically Nancy Pelosi, although she probably might not be one of your favorite persons, and I don't blame you. But there's a whole kinds of websites out there, right, that track people that are in Congress, right, their stock moves and things like that. And it's probably a good thing, right? They don't have the same rules that apply to like insider trading, but at least as kind of leaders that are making laws and regulations, right? Sometimes you can't help but think that they might have a little be catching a little headwinds. So, anyways, with Nancy Pelosi and Tesla, right? That's not what I'm trying to say there. But I meant with the growth of the stock market the past couple of weeks, right? Something like Tesla just did really well. That I think kind of caught some people off guard. Definitely not some of the group with us in the Bridge C Labs Discord. I know that definitely we had FG and Board Chilla both really kind of making that call ahead of time on Tesla and really putting their money where their mouth is, and that takes conviction and a lot of respect for that. A lot of respect for that. But so back to the money flow, right? Is what I'm trying to say is something like Nvidia, right? Where it's just really did real well. I'm looking generally with the mindset of, okay, this money was put into, for example, this stock, right, or this mutual fund, or this ETF, or whatever, and maybe they just 5x, 10x it, right? So I'm thinking, where are they going to take that? You generally find, right, it's not like that money then, say when they decide to sell that they take that money and it's just parked now in a bank account, right? Generally it flows into another sector or another fund or stock, or more specifically, right, if we're talking about like the crypto markets, typical older patterns like from past cycles. What we'd experience a lot is, say, we'd have some of the majors like Bitcoin or Ethereum do very well, and then we'd find that the smaller caps or higher risk like altcoins would follow after, or say within the next 24-hour period. And I believe some of that at the time was kind of the same stuff that I was talking about. It was just money flow, right? It's people kind of taking profits and then move and not really cashing out necessarily into a bank account or just staying into flat dollars, but they're actually moving those investments into something else. So yeah, and some of these things, like we talk about, like it's not worth going into detail now, but there's some more data sometimes with crypto when we look at things that especially money flow, or trying to get an idea of are people taking profits and then reinvesting, or are they staying flat, right? And in crypto, we can take advantage of a little bit of like on-chain metrics, right? But also some of the metrics that like exchanges provide. So if that's something like you want to learn more about, or you're trying to dig into further detail, you could looking at like, for example, the stablecoin supply, right, in total, or looking at withdrawals or deposits of stablecoins versus withdrawals or deposits of, say, like just for this example, like Bitcoin from an exchange, right, might give you an idea of what smart money, or quote unquote, is doing. Is that something, Dempsey, you've ever like looked at, or have you bothered to look at, like looking at stablecoin supplies or inflows or outflows?
I've read a couple of articles on stablecoin stuff, especially on Solana.
Okay.
Their stablecoin, there was something like declining stablecoins due to just people being more bullish, either meme coins or Solana itself, on the Solana chain.
Okay. So more chain specific. Okay, I didn't even think about that. Okay, that makes sense.
That's the only thing I've seen on stablecoins. Haven't really thought about it much before that. But I usually I have a couple of newsletters I subscribe to, just to keep me updated. Read them in the morning, kind of thing.
Okay. We were talking about like Tesla and Nvidia. Can we jump over and just look? How about real quick? Let's look at some of these.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's been running like crazy.
Yes.
It's just straight up. It's just like, Tesla's one of those stocks that's, once it starts moving, there's no stopping it, right? There's right. Like that cult of personality.
Oh heck yeah! You got a CEO that'll do memes.
Yeah, you just need to say Dogecoin, and Dogecoin's at like $1, which is crazy.
Yeah. So for any of y'all at home or at work, whatever like that, if you didn't know already, right? Elon Musk, right? Obviously a very successful tech founder. We don't need to go into all that, but he has a passion and loves Dogecoin, and every once in a while, definitely decides to make a little post about it or a meme about it, and the community and the traders and price action love it when he does. So, and looking at Tesla right here, right, looks like we're actually going to continue to climb higher here. Um, I'm just here on a lower time frame here on a 1 hour time frame, so we're interday here. Um, what was the high of yesterday here? At 248. So it looks like we're coming up. I mean, that was almost in more right in more typical trading, right? We could have looked at something like this as possibly a liquidity swipe, and we would be looking to see if probably this next candle was going to give us like what we call an SFP formation, which did not. And this, at least for the time being, as we're looking at this, this looks strong. This looks strong. I would expect. Let's look at some weekly levels here. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's also a weekly level. So I would, I would think, I would think that we are gonna, we will break obviously the previous week high there. So that is something to watch. I say previous week high, but at least the high for the week, right, or at least the previous day high. Yeah, momentum is flying with this, something like this. Nvidia as well, right? Grabbed up a large part of the market, and the whole story behind that. We found a little bit of a rebound here. This is on a daily chart here, and yeah, Nvidia. I have to wait and see here. We're basically testing some previous day highs here. It looks like on Nvidia. Let's see. Yeah, we're kind of at some daily. Go ahead. Looking at some daily resistance here. I guess yeah, as we're speaking here, a close into 128, I think would definitely be more bullish. I'd be concerned. Maybe we're up higher here. Would I be possibly concerned? Yeah, yeah. I mean, we close anywhere up into say 128. I think that we'll probably continue to move for the week up to test this 132 level is what I would speculate here. Yep. Or 129.33. Okay, interesting. What else am I seeing flashing here real quick? See, there's been a on-chain wallet attack on Tau, associating it some with this 16% dip we're looking at here.
Yeah, Tau is a
bit.
Yeah, it's like AI compute or decentralized compute situation.
Yeah, and this was coming up. Apparently, this whole week is for Linea, which is a competing new L1, if I'm correct. I guess this is their dev week. I've heard about. Let me look at some of this here. Well, Twitter sentiment is still pretty high here. IONET is still. How has IO been performing on the week? I don't know, by the way. Do you know anybody personally that's mining IO? I do not, but I've heard. Usually when people
you have to mine it.
Yeah, you can easily mine it. Is what my understanding. Yeah.
I think. Do you know when? I haven't caught up on IONET, but do you know when they started like the TGE and mining? Normally, the earlier you are, we're mining,
the more
the better it is. right?
Right.
Um, so I'm not too familiar.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the last person to be really trying to be pushing too much mining information out there. Thankfully, being part of British Labs, we just is that we are currently running quite a few Bitcoin miners ourselves, and I think thanks to you've been a big lead in making sure that's happened. And I think we just
Yeah, we're moving to Texas.
yeah, I like that.
Uh,
I like that.
Probably more price stability on the electricity side,
Okay, right,
and hopefully Bitcoin just moons, and we can figure out a way to either sell our miners or um, sell the just sell the Bitcoin together. We've distributed most of it anyways, so that's not really our focus.
right. It's been a great opportunity I've found, and I think others as well, obviously. I think one of the bonuses in Texas too, as long until they change it, is that depending on conditions, you can actually get paid not to mine as a Bitcoin miner.
Yeah, that's the deal they had with Riot
Right, right.
when I first did the when I first did the research. They basically have a deal with the. If you're not familiar, Texas has their own electricity grid. Like
Yep,
it's not connected to the United States.
yep. ERCOT.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, so they have capacity problems.
Oh yeah.
Um, so they pay Riot, or Riot gets really cheap electricity, but ERCOT can shut them down mining at any point, um,
Right.
which is a win-win. I mean, they
Yep.
get like electricity at like really cheap, like 4 cents a kilowatt hour or something.
Yeah. Wow, that is cheap. Well, I mean, in basic, right, in general principle, the kind of the more rural, but yet still have the the industry um, mainline connections, right? Kind of the cheaper you can get do some of that mining at. Um, and then yeah, like with ERCOT, like in Texas, at least during the winters a couple years back, right, there was such a problem with strain on the grid that yeah, like for example, Riot or others were basically paid money just not to turn off their miners, which is pretty wild, pretty wild. Looking at some of these top gainers here, a lot of these look like quite a few of these gotta be meme coins. Yeah, we got Jesus and Daddy and Mega Links. Oh, hey, by the way, not to put you on the spot, Dancy, not to put you on the spot, but did you have any luck with any of your picks for the debate?
No, I lost it all.
Oh, come on.
It's fine. You can't win them all.
You can't. You
I
can't.
just, I honestly wanted to, um, I really wanted to test out the platform.
Okay. And what did you think?
Was the biggest thing. It's really good. It's just the problem with being in the United States is that it's always blocked. So,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
have a VPN.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I live in Amsterdam, so
Okay.
don't have a VPN. Um,
But it's kind of way you do it, though.
but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I wish more people
but
could
it's a
take
good
advantage of
platform.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I think there could be opportunities to um, do some arbitrage, especially with the crypto side, because they do have crypto bets.
Okay.
But I was looking at, so the site is Poly Market. That's the site. Um, it functions very similar to trading. Really, you should. I think you should look into it.
I
If
think I
it
should.
functions very similar to trading, where like there's probably like if you go to the top ranked profit and loss people,
Okay.
they
Oh.
all operate as market makers.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at his
Oh.
activity, go to activity. Um, like they're just market making. They're
Okay.
like
Okay.
scalping a couple cents.
Here, there. Okay.
Uh,
I bet you they already have bots. I bet you they're already working on APIs and everything with this. Huh. Wow.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's you need market makers for
Yeah.
these. It's
Totally.
not that liquid, right? So yeah, it's very interesting. Coming from trading like meme coins to this,
I
it's
could. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of intelligence in this.
Yeah. 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 I almost during the similar kind of note. I mean, I'm sure they had some type of excuse me. I'm sure they had some type of campaigns going on. But I almost wonder what I'm trying to say is like some of these newer perps dex platforms we had like Drift or Zeta, and I'm sure that I'm sure that obviously there's more that I'm forgetting to mention, but um a lot of that airdrop stuff was what I'm trying to say was just incentivized even just to traders, right? For trading, um, and I'm sure that they I would think probably put in some simple protection, right? Maybe to keep people from running a delta neutral position out of like one wallet, right? But being because they're perps decks, right? All you need is a second wallet um, to and you could do that very easily. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, to reap the incentives, the rewards for the airdrop. But I just wondered. I was curious because I knew that obviously I wasn't the only person like that had that thought, and probably there was others out there doing that. And so I just wondered how much. I don't know how much they paid out for that versus they could have. Well, I guess you'd still have to use market makers no matter what. But what I'm trying to say, I don't know how much was lost to that could have been used safe just for market makers. Because when we talk about right, like running a delta neutral position, right? I mean, it's kind of one of the most simple things to verbally illustrate, right? What that would be is if you basically took like a long on a position, right? So let's say Bitcoin, you took a long on Bitcoin at 60,000, but you also took a short on Bitcoin at 60,000. That would make you basically have what would be called like a delta neutral position.
Yeah, but the funding fees,
Well,
that's what I'm worried
true, yeah, very true, very true.
about.
That is, yeah.
I see what you mean. It could be. I mean, I think right now, the airdrops is not too interesting.
I have some research, yeah, that was kind of summarizing some of that as well. It was we were questioning is airdrops. Um, just basically, I mean, it was titled something catchy, but basically, is the airdrops dead for right now? Let me see. Actually, though, if that's so.
Yeah, I was reading in my in the newsletters I was reading.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were saying. It was like a week ago or something.
Let me see. Can I
But yeah,
add this real quick? Let's see if we can look at this real quick. Okay, that worked. I don't think it did. No, 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 no. Oh, here. I can do it like this. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me do it like this. Uh,
are you trying to find
I'm
the
trying
thread?
to load up the PDF in Chrome so I can actually. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. That's the wrong one. Yeah, so this was, well, this is current as of just a few days ago, but um it was just kind of revealing kind of where we are with airdrops. And some of this was interesting, but it says they've been declared dead before as they were in 2022, but came back roaring when we were in full bull with $4.6 billion in airdrops distributed in 2023. That's quite a bit. That's a lot. Um, that'd be interesting to follow where all that money, you know what I mean, how much of it is still in the market or where it's gone. This just goes on to kind of talk a little bit about if airdrops are truly dead, then we have a breakdown in the implicit contract between protocols and users' incentives, right? And a return a return to the classic model of launching a product and token simultaneously could be better for the user and industry alike. Um, let's see here. This kind of goes into the history of airdrops, right? But kind of talks about one of layer zero airdrop didn't go as smooth. Dealing with the qualifications, right? And so this just this talks shortly a little bit about the breakdown and the airdrop relationship between protocols as users. Layer zero is one of the most recent examples of this. The long-awaited zero airdrop went live for users and encountered a previously unenclosed like proof of donation mechanism for claiming the tokens, right? So it was basically like an additional, well, you can call it whatever you want, but I'm sure the way most people thought of it was like a tax, where users were required to donate 10 cents to the protocol guild for each zero token they wish to claim. And this came soon after ZK Sync's airdrop was mirrored in controversy over allegations of insider trading and irregularities. That to be not to be said is what I'm trying to say is airdrops still provide a good potential, I think, for everybody out there. I myself, I sure as I know as other members as well, in the Discord have been some airdrops have paid off definitely and been rewarding, and sometimes being a part of like a DAO or a group, say like Bridge 3 Labs, sometimes you get to one of those airdrops. Some of these communities are able to provide or willing to provide what we'd call like multipliers for some people. And so just another plus of being in a community and just taking advantage of all that. So this is kind of going into more looking at the airdrops of 2023. As we can see here, looking at this chart, Arbitrum really the most, followed by Blur, and this counts for both airdrops, which is 818 million. Then followed by Celestia and Jito and WorldCoin. Arkham, that was one I did get that was not anything to write home to mama about. But yeah, and interesting, Blast, right? I think we were just talking about recently that they've announced another round, basically, which I think people are.
Do you think anyone's gonna do
Yeah,
it
I think people.
after this?
Yeah, I think that's what I was about to say. I think sentiment is getting a little bit. Yeah, not happy about that. I've seen many memes or references to like, oh, they just want to keep you engaged for a whole nother year. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was talking to some marketing people before, just to like, I don't know, just meet people in startups in San Francisco a lot. Basically, how airdrops rewards like that work is that you want to incentivize people to do things, right?
Correct.
Um, and then in doing those things, like those actions cost time, effort, whatever. What they want to feel is that when whatever they want to whatever effort they put into to getting that reward, whether implicitly or explicitly stated, it should be worthwhile for their time. And you see in Blur, and you see in people that were really posting on Twitter and like whatever, like engagement farming,
Mm-hmm.
and like it just wasn't. They were expecting a higher payout than how much effort they were put in, whether that's hours, and that kind of happened in heavy metal too, right? And you can see that with a lot of the Yuga games where people were spending hours and hours and days and weeks playing these games and not getting a reward, or
Right.
not getting that reward
They were
that they were
expecting.
expecting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't ask. I mean, you could ask, but I think people are starting to understand that like maybe it's not the best to spend your time to go farm, do whatever if you're not incentivized for it, right? Because like it's very easy to like and repost a tweet on X, right?
Right.
That on the scale of things to do for airdrops, that's really easy. But if you're asking us to post like 10 times or be tracking how many times you post on Twitter or something like that, that's like a higher commitment and you should be rewarded for it.
Definitely. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Right. So that's kind of the mismatch right now where I mean it might have been that Blur kind of kicked it off with like the huge airdrop at first,
And they did manage
right?
to grab most of the NFT volume, right? I mean, in that sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm on Magic Eden now. Like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
True.
have Magic Eden points, right?
Me
But
too. Mhm.
I'm not farming Magic Eden points. I'm just using their platform,
Right. Yeah. That's a difference. True. 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 Very true.
right? And like what was the one? Photon had their airdrop and like it was okay. I mean, people were still trading meme coins, right? It was just how do you maximize. I mean, Photon is pretty. I used Photon like once or twice last week, and it was pretty good. I haven't used it in a while. But they have like stop losses now on dexes, which is interesting. But
Oh, okay.
I still use
Okay.
Block to trade meme coins.
Do they have rug-free protection?
Uh, what do you mean by that?
I was
Like
just joking.
scanners,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
scanning
was
the
just joking.
contract?
Yeah. 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 I was just joking.
I think so,
It's a cat
but
and mouse game.
nothing's rug
Cat.
free.
Yeah. Exactly. Cat and mouse game. Man. Cat and mouse game. Right. Um.
But honestly, pumped off fun coins are pretty rug free now.
Okay.
Surprising,
Okay.
because like all the contracts are standardized, so you can't like honeypot it. It's just if the dev like just sells it all.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, the meme coin trading I've been doing lately, right, is definitely like some of it. Some of the automation, right, is tied to like the dev, right. So like if he, for example, like if he sells like currently my I sell it all, right. You could do it by a percentage, but um,
You don't like playing the CTO plays?
eh, back to kind of what we were talking about before. If I can do 10, 20, 30% here or there, especially at least just with say meme coins, I'm doing more, using more like automation and botting, less like research, or I don't know how much TA can really go into say meme coins. Well, certainly some of these, right, with these larger
Meme
market
coins,
caps.
there's no TA. It only goes up
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in theory.
So I mean, I'm just like, I will like for example, I typically have like a take profit, or I'm using a set like at around maybe about 33% where I'll just automatically sell. Or what I'm doing is I'll also use like a bonding curve, right? So I'm looking to sell a percentage, exit a percentage of my holding early on.
Actually, that would be very interesting to go into right now if you're willing to. If you want to explain um, bonding curves, how they work,
Oh
how
man.
to check them, the theory of it. Um, I've, I mean, Pumped Up Fun uses a bonding curve. The Dexes have their own bonding curve. Yeah, if you want to go through that, that'd be great. I think great educational piece right here.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Um.
right? Because that's what all dexes are, right? They're just they calculate the conversion. It changes based on how much is staked or how much is LP'd or whatever, right?
True, 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 true. Very true, very true. Um, yeah. So like, obviously, I'm gonna steal a little bit from Google for this, and then I guess, I can share with you some of my opinions too. Yeah. I mean, this just talks about like on the basic right understanding bonding curves is a mathematical concept describing the relationship between price and the supply of an asset, right? So more specifically, supply of an asset. Um, and more of a thing, right, that we see even more in crypto, because I mean the bonding curves are used outside of crypto, but something like even
They basically allow people to. It's basically like substituting the market makers on centralized exchanges and on like traditional equity,
right, right, right.
right? It's kind of like an automated price.
Giving, yeah, allowing the scarcity is kind of what gives the gives the cryptocurrency the value. The bonding curve is the concept used to manage the scarcity and the resulting price changes. Aims to maintain, yeah, the balance between supply and demand, ensuring that the price of cryptocurrency remains stable. Yeah, and therefore
I
why,
wonder if there's like
huh?
a bonding curve visualizer.
Let's see, and there's different concepts, right? Too, because like whether it's a like I've seen whether it's a AMM versus oh god, think of the actual lingo. There's different implementations of it, but kind of same idea. Let's think of this. No, I don't like that. Okay, yeah, this is more of a kind of a general idea of bonding curve. So, if you can y'all see this on my screen here? This axis being the token price, this being supply, right? And so this red curve would be our bonding curve, right? So in a market where say the token price, right, stayed the same, but the supply grew greater, right, that would cause our bonding curve to be like not as sharp, would be less of a steep of a bonding curve, and obviously
But that's based on what the LP is compared, right? If it's like ETH versus Sol versus USDC, it changes the how it interacts.
right. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up.
Right, because if you like, let's say you're trading a Sol meme coin, right? It's the meme coin is usually the LP is created with the meme coin and Sol. So
Correct.
in theory, they balance the LP, um, the liquidity pool based on the dollar amount of Sol versus the meme coin. So that's how they make the price. So when you submit a buy order or a sell order, um, they basically update the price based on what the what the liquidity pool is after that transaction.
Right. Because obviously the supply is going to be affected. Okay. Right. So
Right.
yeah, I'm looking at here. Yeah, few key functions, right? Token price determination, right? Bonding curves, instrumental in setting the price of tokens in a decentralized manner, right? Because we have to have liquidity pools, right? In the first place, that's what allows, the magic of dexes, right? Of anybody being able to without a centralized exchange or market maker, be able to swap in and out. And then obviously, right, those pools, those participants are incentivized, right, in some way to even create those pools. So yeah, token price determination, liquidity, especially in AMMs, automated market makers like Uniswap, bonding curves facilitate continuous liquidity in the market, meaning tokens can be bought and sold at any time without the need for a traditional buyer or seller on the other end. Fair distribution, right? Bonding curves use predefined mathematical formulas to offer a transparent and equitable distribution of bonded tokens. Um, oh, so it says this credits Banker with being the first project to actually even implement a bonding curve, leveraging the curves to create continuous liquidity. Yeah, stable token pricing. Yeah. Well, because like really, you could run into possibly, I would think, even more arbitrage, traditional arbitrage opportunities in some of these liquidity swaps, right? Without a bonding curve, where you'd have something become unequally weighted. Okay, different
Like
type.
across two dexes.
Yeah. Correct. Or if just like the liquidity pool be like so. Yeah. The as far as arbitrage, the last time I've done any arbitrage was more like what you call like triangle arbitrage, right? Which is more like kind of what you're talking about, like where you'd have two exchanges. Um. Anyways, this just talks about a few different types, right? Linear, non-increasing bonding curve, being the simplest form. I think that's kind of the illustration like we were looking at. This type is ideal for more stable markets, right? Crypto not being a very stable market, being more volatile. Then we have these negative exponential. The token price decreases exponentially. Initial ICOs often use this curve to reward early traders with lower prices, creating an incentive for quick adoption. Okay. So negative exponential for ICOs. That's interesting. Sigmoid curve. Um, starts flat and increases sharply in the middle and then in the flat. Is this like on a timeline though? I'm not familiar with that. Quadratic is really kind of the most familiar one I'm familiar with. But anyway, this type features a more aggressive price strategy, right, where the price increases at a quadratic rate as more tokens are sold. It's designed to encourage early participation, right, and as latecomers face higher costs. Um, how do bonding curves? Yeah. Yeah, I guess just without going on and on, the adaptability, right, of bonding curves, it makes them definitely more attractive in crypto markets versus traditional. Um, this is kind of like I'm reading. This is on DYDX, which is kind of one of the earlier on decentralized perps platforms. So they probably had good experiences. I think it was with Drift, where I thought they were playing around with almost like a mixed model. And I don't know if that's even something I can look at right now. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find that one or not. No, maybe it's on Apex because I was looking at possibly working with something on the back end of an Apex exchange. I think.
Check TradeZella.
Oh, like on X.
Or just Google it.
Is this the right site? Zella?
I think so.
With an E? Mm. Why do I keep getting this on Hacker Man?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, it's not bonded on stablecoins. It's mostly bonded on whatever the native platform token is. So
Okay.
Ether, Sol, or Base ETH, or whatever. But yeah, not being on. I mean, it like that's kind of why meme coins pump so hard. Is because there's so little liquidity locked into um, the the uh, the LP, and so when people start buying,
Yeah.
it just goes exponential, right? Because Sol is kind of fixed, and then um, the the meme coin token is such a small amount,
Yeah. Okay.
and then you get some huge market cap.
Yeah. And apparently, I guess Pumped Up Funds had to deal with this before. Look, that this was back in May, but basically taking advantage of being compromised, the bonding curve.
I think they fixed it. I
Yeah.
mean, that was before.
People are
Like
getting
I was talking
flashy.
about pumped up fund, like was from so long ago, right? And then it kind of
Came back.
yeah. I mean, it's just the
Popularity.
meme coin cycle.
Yeah. Interesting as a form, right? That didn't put too much into to looks or anything, just functionality. And you know what? It works.
I mean, it fits the brand. It's kind of crazy all over the place. It's a meme coin site.
Yeah. Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
True that. True. True. Very true. Very true. This is Daddy. What was doing well? 33% a day. Huh. Um. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, we can move on from talking about airdrops. I don't know if y'all wanted to look at anything else that I thought was kind of um.
You want to look at political memes? I think Forloco posted one this morning.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's comma. If you go to we posted at 12 market cap. I don't know if you can. I'm gonna send you the. I'll send you
Give me a
the
hint. What chain are we on? What are we talking about?
the meme coin
Base?
channel.
No. I meant chain. Are we on Solana or base?
Oh, it's Solana. Yeah, Solana.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Ooh.
base meme coins have not been moving. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish. I
I
know.
think base has lower fees than Solana as well.
Oh yeah, definitely by far.
Oh, I don't know why. I mean,
Ha!
people are
Ha!
just jacks.
You get this is Kamala Harris. Oh man, I
Yeah,
like your style here. Okay. That's funny.
I'm more of a Gavin Newsom fan, but
Okay,
Kamala Harris will do.
okay, that's funny. This is funny. All right, let me do this. Let me look at this. First off, too, I want to add this to my magic board here. Oh my goodness, she is
What's up?
growing, dude. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Holder distribution. Let's
What's
see
the
what's
market
going
cap
on
right
here.
now?
Um,
Honestly, go to Deck Screener. That's probably the easiest one to use.
Market cap 13.4 million, huh?
Joel, go to the bar on top and click market cap over price. Let's see. Yeah, could be moving.
Yeah, we started here before. I'm still telling y'all whether you like it or not. I like to monitor on balance volume on these meme coins. I find it very helpful.
What's the explain the indicator? What does that mean?
Okay, well, on balance volume, right, is a pretty more traditional indicator, right? You can probably find it, which kind of built into most charting platforms, right? And I don't personally, other than when I'm looking at or really doing meme coin stuff, I don't use it as much, say in like technical analysis, for trading. But there are definitely those out there that do and are successful with it. Um, so I shouldn't compare it to open interest, but similar. I'm looking for on balance volume, right, which is kind of like the volume on the order books, right, like taking place. So it kind of gives me an idea of like something like open interest. Gives me an idea of kind of like not activity. Well, you could almost say activity, but a general kind of interest of traders. Not so much whether they're I'm looking for what I want to see in a healthy thing is I constantly want to see on balance volume going up, increasing, right? Similar to what I'd want to see like open interest increasing, say, with a trend of like in a bullish trend, I'd want to see open interest constantly to increase. Similar in OBV. Now this is on a 1 minute time frame. I don't know.
What does it track though? What is it tracking? Like open interest is like basically limit orders on the L2s, right? Talking on the equity sense or traditional finance sense. What is
Okay, so a by definition, a technical trading momentum indicator that uses volume flow to predict changes in stock prices. First developed by so and so back in 1963. Believed the volume was key force behind markets and design, and I would agree with that. I like to always talk about or hammer forward that there's big difference between leading indicators and lagging indicators, and you'd be surprised, but the majority of indicators probably are lagging. Like a common example of a lagging indicator, right, would be like a moving average. Whether obviously an exponential moving average is going to be more current or less lagging than say a simple moving average, right? But lagging, whereas like something like volume, right, is what we'd call a leading indicator. So yeah, this talks with just he believes volume was key behind it. Key on shows sentiment, right, that can predict a bullish or bearish trend, right? Comparing relative action between price bars and unbalanced volume generates more actionable signals than green or red volume histograms commonly found at the bottom of price charts. So here's the formula for OBV, right? If close is greater than previous bar close, it's gonna assign it.
yeah,
Okay.
ChatGPT? You'll know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what is it?
OBV.
What's the
On balance volume is the. It says the volume provides a running total of an asset's trading volume and indicates whether the volume is flowing in or out of a given security. The OBV is a cumulative total of volume, positive and negative. There are 3 rules implemented when calculating OBV. So yeah, it's always looking at closing, like previous closing price to current closing price. In this example, right, we're talking about on a daily time frame, but you can obviously use it on lower time frames. kind of the theory, right? We're talking about behind OBV is the distinction between smart money, namely, and institutional investors and less sophisticated retail investors, right? So in this, right, it's talking about as mutual funds, pension funds begin to buy into an issue that retail investors are selling, volume may increase even as the price remains relatively level.
I got you.
So they might be
I just asked.
scaling in, right, without trying to make a market maker move.
I just asked ChatGPT
Mm-hmm.
to explain it like I'm 5.
Oh, perfect.
Basically, it's like it's this number, and if the price of the token goes up, they add the volume to that number, and then if it goes down in that period of time, they subtract the volume from that number, and if it stays the same, they don't do any calculation.
Okay.
So that's what it's showing.
Almost like you
So,
could
like-
do like strats for candles, like you know, assigning number 1, 2, a quick hand version way of. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's like if like ETH goes up today by like 1,000, or like if ETH goes up in today's like candle
Closes higher than
and
previous.
the volume was 1,000,
Okay.
it'll just add 1,000 to that number, and then tomorrow if it goes down and like the volume was 200, it'd be at 800
Okay. Okay.
for that indicator.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably super simplified, but that's what you're basically adding the volume or subtracting the volume whether or not the asset goes up or down in price.
Okay. Okay.
Or just there.
Yeah. I mean, look, yeah, because it said, yeah, it's OBV, right, equals OBV previous plus, right? Whether, you know, the plus volume if closes is greater than previous, right? Or, you know, minus the volume if
So it's
closes
just like-
less. Yeah.
If it goes up, that means it just has like a lot of green days, and then the rate it goes up shows how much volume cumulatively
Okay. Okay.
over time.
Yeah,
But yeah.
me personally, I've been I found less of all things lately. Just even on something like Deck Screener, when I look at OBV more traditionally, right? Say with something like a meme coin, right? I'll probably be, you know, normally going firsthand to look at something like a stochastic RSI, right? But I have found that I like using this OBV because sometimes, right, especially with meme coins, at least for me, I have less experience or how about like technical analysis that I know how to apply to it, and so my confidence, right, is not nearly as high in it as maybe some like trade or other investment I'd be making. And I'm, you know, a lot of times I'm learning about a meme coin, you know, after it's launched, you know, third hand by somebody else, right? And then so I'm looking like, you know, am I coming in and am I buying the bottom here, right? Am I buying the top? You know, is this a dead cow bouncing type thing? And that's where I think that you can find OBV can help you some, because I think obviously something like a stochastic, right, moves fast enough that maybe could help you get a good entry or exit possibly. But like in this example here, this is even still just on a 5-minute time frame. But if you look, right, from the peak, and we started having a decline in OBV, right, really this whole time, you know, was basically around here at this high. We then came, you know, up and down in this choppiness. But if you were just following OBV this whole time, right, you basically would have ended up kind of with not a divergence, right? More of like a similar trend.
Yeah. So what are you looking for OVB? Like a spike up or?
Like, yeah, I mean, I wanted to see spike up and
then
continuing going up, like climbing, and some of this, like okay here. I mean, and once again, we're on 5-minute 5-minute time frame here. So
do like a hour time frame on this and see how it looks, because like obviously there's not enough data points, but an hour is still pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can work with this too. I mean, you'll get spikes, say even right in this hour, but generally, like what I'm trying to point out is that you're getting this um, you know, a
Honestly, I'd look at like reversals on OBV. Like you see that like no, keep going left. No. Right? You see that really big spike right there?
mm-hmm.
Uh go a little bit left. Like there. Look at that like that reversal on that on OBV. That could be a good entry point.
Yeah,
Right?
right. Sure.
But that's just looking backwards. Who knows like what that looks like during.
Right, and in some of the on that point, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult to say, especially on these meme coins. You don't have nearly the history, right? Like you could to compare, say, if you were, you had a a general mean or whatever on something like this OBV, right? And you were looking like say anywhere below, I don't know, whatever it would be, 100K or whatever that you'd consider a, you know, that's not a opportunity for a rebound, but on a decline. You know what I mean? On its way out. And then see, like we might be having that right now, right? Because I mean, yeah, we had a drop in OBV, but on average, right, it's still higher than it has been, right? Even when with this sideways action, we're still above this 2 million here.
Yeah, I mean this could be the reversal on OBV.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Doing all this talking, maybe it's not. This is too much work. Maybe it's easier just to find a few wallets that you like and follow some of their trading. I think
True.
Different
strategy.
I think that's not as transparent as well, though. I think that I know for a fact there's wallets out there using like MEV protection, right? Maybe you think you can copy trade, or what you're looking at you think is necessarily all their trades, but there's other stuff going on. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. But I think is like if you're not looking at a wallet that's doing hundreds of transactions in a day, then you might be safe on that one. I was actually doing a little meme coin wallet hunting yesterday.
What you find? Any good ones?
I found one or two that were good. Actually, pretty good. I actually put them out there to share them, and they got that post got deleted. Man, I couldn't believe it. So I wasn't sure if that meant it was too good or what. But because and anyways, that happens every once in a while. What? Actually, I could pull them up and we could look. Actually, even as we speak. One was doing massive, a lot of buying and selling, and then another was not. Let me see here, but this isn't what the greatest doing for this. But I actually have the actual list. Make sure. Let me see. Because I actually do not do the meme stuff on this device that I'm on with you guys right now. Okay, here's the Magic Wallet. This one. So can we look at it on DexScreener? What did that work? Yeah, can we look at wallets?
No, not sure.
Dang it. No? No, he doesn't like that.
No.
Can I look at Sniff Wallet here? Would show me performance? I think it will. And then some of these wallets, right? I'm looking to see, because obviously, right, like the especially like the chains. Well, it doesn't even matter, right? Even on Ethereum, but the people that are doing this all the time, right? They're typically not using necessarily the same wallet forever and ever. So like I'm looking, like if it's a wallet I'm interested in, I want to see if they're still holding things as well, right? So here is a wallet I liked. And I'll drop the whole address for anybody in our Discord. to follow, and it looks like they're still active as of 14 hours ago. Um,
Honestly, what you should do is make an Excel and
I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. It's
post
actually
all
what
the
I just
wallets.
pulled that from. What?
Um, there's sites. I forgot the site where you can just like copy trade wallets. I forgot what it's called. But there's definitely sites.
Right, but here's my concern. I'm sure there is, but my only concern with that would be is if you're copy trading like meme coin seller, buying and selling on Solana, um, the latency, you know what I mean, could be an issue. Is what I want to say. This is real.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not MEV bots, it should be fine, right? Because they're not like they're holding for a decent period of time for these meme coins,
Yeah, yeah, true.
or not like super long, but like they're still.
Let's see the.
It's not like they're like scalping these meme coins.
Yeah. Okay, so this wallet, yeah, they cleared this one out apparently a week ago. But this was
I think the problem with copy trading wallets is that you run the risk of copy trading one of their many wallets,
right. Very true. True.
and then you're kind of it's not a foolproof way to do it. I mean, if it were that easy where you just copy someone's wallet, like the game wouldn't be there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't work if everybody's winning. That would not work. I don't like the way this is showing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of I as far as meme coin, right? I think some of the best advice is do some of your own research. Belong to a community where you have people that are doing some of this and sharing some. I know that it's definitely been of value in Bridge Labs. As much time as I spend doing some other things, I feel like a lot of times the meme coin stuff, man, because it's so fast, you can feel like, man, I wish I or missed it. And so again, not to tout, we keep tooting our own horn, but belonging to a community, right, where you can maybe get some of these shared with you. Why they're still a thing, you know what I mean? Why they're still happening?
But it's still fresh.
Why they're still fresh?
Yeah, it's like collective
Yeah.
sourcing and collective due diligence, right?
Right.
I mean, the thing about meme coins is that like there's always an opportunity, right?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
just so many. It moves so
Definitely.
fast. Like there's no point in aping in when it's not perfect or when it's not optimal for you. So that's kind of why we like to keep the pulse on the market.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This I'm looking at. Have you done anything with Farcaster in my experience? Me
No,
neither.
yeah, I can barely handle Twitter.
Yeah. I've seen. I mean, I obviously know what it is, but I don't. There's some people really into it. Apparently, is what I'm trying to say. I haven't found that yet. Let me look one other place while I'm here. Man, Luna Crush out there. I think they're in your neighborhood. I wish you could go knock on their door, give them a talk. Man, they had an awesome platform, and instead decided to. Long story short, this platform used to be just crypto only, right? Crypto and NFT only, and like during part of the bear market, or like within the past 12 months, they like decided, hey, no, it's gonna be great. We're gonna diversify and just do trending topics for anything and everything, right? And it in my opinion, it just killed it. Is what I think. Really. But it was really cool because you can look at all kinds of different like metrics, right? And especially say that are outside of necessarily on chain, or you can kind of combine, say like sentiment and whether that's on like Twitter or Reddit with other metrics and stuff. But see, even this is not giving me. I just don't think it's gonna be. Well, I can give you an idea, right? With a single coin, right? Like with Solana, you could look at like, for example, post interactions, right, versus creator interactions, and you know, and price and things like that. And you'd also get these things like a galaxy rank versus alt rank, which is some different combined metrics and things. So this used to be more. I don't even say like, for example, what was that one I just saw? Daddy. I don't think. Yeah, something like this for meme coins just isn't there yet. Well, you could use it to maybe crawl real fast, but yeah. I mean, I think back to the meme coin stuff. Yeah, I mean, just being around a trusted group of peers that you know, you all kind of try to bring something to the table, give back. Raising tide lifts all boats. Yeah, I think that community, maybe some people you've come to follow, say on Twitter, things like that, with these meme coin things, are good places. And also too, just not feeling like you always have to have a trade, right? A meme coin trade per se. Definitely too. And manage your risk. Manage your risk, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been an hour and a half. Do you want to call it?
Yeah,
Kyle,
let's
and
wrap
do
this up.
one?
Yeah. Let's wrap this up. And then I want to make sure, and I don't want to do it right, but like, yeah, if we want to keep talking about this meme stuff, I know we've kind of briefly touched on this, like a giveaway that we want to do. Why don't we, if we could, why don't we, what is today, Wednesday?
Yeah. Let's keep your day on Wednesday because we have Roads on Monday and we have the larger space on
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
But yeah.
I think that I need to do more talking with you, but like I still want to do, and I think that everything checks out. I think next week we'll be ready to do that one giveaway is what I'm trying to say. And then with that out of the way, I personally just want to get back to kind of like giving away just kind of cool stuff to anybody that comes or participates and stuff like that. So that's kind of my plan.
Yeah. Let's also plan for like a exclusive Discord one for our members, and then you can do the giveaways there.
Okay, even better. Yeah. Okay. Sure thing. Okay. Well,
yeah, that's probably a better way for giveaways, and then yeah, I'll try to coordinate for the giveaway partnerships.
Okay. Well, thank y'all for all being here. Thank you so much. This was once again on IO Focus. This was one of the co-founders of Bridge Labs we had with us, Danksy. Very insightful, knowledgeable in many things, and just a all around great friend to have, and great boss, and just been a great experience, man. So thank y'all, and thank you, Danksy, and we'll catch y'all next week.
No, appreciate you, Isle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quick rundown on the schedule. IO's on Wednesday. Probably figure out a time. It's probably roughly the same time. And then Rotes is normally at like I think 11 a.m. PST or 2 p.m. Eastern. Let me confirm, and we'll post something on Twitter as well. But yeah, we do these weekly, and then we'll probably plan for another one on Discord just internally. And yeah, that should be good, right?
Yeah, and I plan to kind of get back to it. I've been doing for the most part about every week, kind of a topic on technical analysis for the members in Discord. Now, so that won't probably be here on Twitter, but we'll definitely I'm gonna keep that going in Discord. Just be, and that'll be something kind of posted ahead of time and try to get back to kind of a regular time for that. So yeah, and cool stuff ahead. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rose.
Well,
Appreciate it.
All right.
Or thanks, Al. Sorry.
Sorry, bro. Later.